I'll be back here. Anyway, they are the most powerful steam locomotive ever built. And they have one still running that's their display. And it has not pushed freight since 1947. And a train got stuck.
Big boy.
And the big boy happened to be going through. And oh my God, it was like the world had just exploded with trains.
Yeah, it was cool to see the footage.
We'll give the rest of the story.
So Al, if you need any help on a Geiger spur.
Okay, I believe I heard that the recording was in progress, so we will begin the meeting. This is the special meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. It is December 23rd, 2024. It is 10:01. Please let the record reflect that we have Commissioners Kearns, CUNY, and Waldriff on Zoom. Commissioner French is in the conference room. We have a couple specific items that were spelled out on the special meeting notice, and the first of which is in the matter of authorizing an additional one-time paid holiday for non-respondent benefits eligible employees as a result of the President's executive order dated December 18th, 2024, closing all executive departments and agencies of the federal government on Tuesday, December 24th, 2024, and closing certain county offices on Tuesday, December 24, 2024. So I will ask Matt if he has Matt or Ashley, whoever wants to lead off on this for a short presentation, just to kind of put that in layman speak on what it is we're doing.
Is Ashley on? Does she want to take it? If not, I'm happy to.
I can. I'm on. Thanks, Matt. So yes, commissioners, it's one of those years where the President of the United States has provided an executive order for the closure of executive departments and agencies on December 24th. Spokane County policies and Spokane County collective bargaining agreements all have outlined language specific to what happens in an event where either the President of the United States or the Governor of the state of Washington declares a one-time holiday. In our policies, it states that we also then recognize such an event, so long as the commissioners determine that they would like to do so. So that's what we're here for. In previous years, the commissioners have authorized this in your other resolutions, including the most recent budget resolution, as well as the most recent COLA for non-rep employees. There is the authorization of the payment of the holiday, which is again included in this resolution. So this meeting is really just to ensure that per the policy language and the collective bargaining agreements, you guys would also like to recognize the holiday. In the resolution itself, it spells out that for those employees that are not at work, do not have to be at their work, they would receive their holiday pay. For non-reps who are working, and for most of our collective bargaining agreements, if they do have to work, there becomes a floating holiday available for use within 60 days. Some of our other bargaining agreements spell out that they're paid at overtime. So each one is a little bit different depending on the individual CBA, but those all do differ back to policies. So that's why we're here today. The last one I think that you guys did was 2020, maybe 2019. So it's been a few years. But we did, thanks to Mr. Amicio, Mr. Folsom, get the resolution updated with our current language, current dates. And so we're here asking for your final approval.
Ashley, can I ask if there's an employee that maybe already took today or tomorrow off? How is that handled?
It would just be considered holiday pay instead of like a PTO or vacation.
Okay, so that'll be adjusted if somebody put in for tomorrow off already. So, okay. Okay, any other questions? Commissioner CUNY.
I would say that's the beauty of now going to our pay where we're lagging just a little bit behind. So all of that will get figured out perfectly. So very excited about that. And I just want to say thank you for helping me out today, having my eyes dilated. I cannot read. So thanks, Commissioner Kearns, for helping me out.
No problem.
So Commissioner Kearns?
Yes.
So do you need a motion on the floor to move forward?
If somebody is willing to make a motion, that would be great.
I'll move the motion forward that you read.
I
Okay.
will second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. I'll just confirm with Matt. I don't believe we need to open it, but do we need to open this up for public comment or
No, we
public
do not.
testimony? We do
No,
not.
it's a
Okay.
special meeting.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes 5-0. And just for the record, we have been joined by Commissioner Jordan. So we have all four of us on Zoom, and Commissioner French holding down the fort in the conference room. Okay, that brings us to our second item for the special meeting. It was noticed today in the matter of amending Resolution 2024-0765, which made final adjustments to the American Rescue Plan, ARP, funding obligations and de-obligations to specific expenditure categories as required by the final rules of the American Rescue Plan, ARP. And do we have... Yeah, I see Jeff and Heather with us at the end of the table, so I'll hand it over to you two for a presentation.
The federal government can have 18 versions of their final. We could do an extra version here too. We found going through a Tessa in the budget office, correcting things on page 2 and the top of page 3. You'll see a 12-cent change, which is a combination of a 14 and a 2 cent. That's the net change. We wouldn't have called you together for that, but since we had another issue, we took care of that one. On the bottom of page 3, letter C, Roman numerals 1 and 2, this is where the funds were moved to. Number 1 went up by 494,000 and change, and then indirects in number 2 went up by 32,800. And then if you switch over to page 4, we'll explain where those numbers came from. In page 4D, Roman numerals 2 and 3. I'll start with Roman numeral 3. That is the West Terrace Stormwater Project that you all recall. There were no indirects with that one. It was a sole source contract. When we were double checking our books against the budget office and our ARP, we realized some of the payments had already been taken by Public Works after we had moved some of that money out of ARP. So this is just an accounting change. There's no change to the project, no change to the overall money. We're just reducing by almost 200,000, 199,399 in ARP, moving that to the corresponding line on the previous page. So the only thing that really changes there is the accounting. And it's again, because by the time we realized some of the contracts weren't ARP correct, they'd already been paid and we had to adjust the accounting to that. While we were talking with Public Works, right above it in number 2, where you'll see letter B is crossed out, the 328,000. While that project is completely obligated, the contract is correct, we learned that it requires a property acquisition, and they have not yet broached that conversation with the property owner. So, and it's not something that the county would do eminent domain over. If the property owner is not willing to sell, the project will die. And by ARP rules, if that happened in 10 days, we'd lose the money. So we're just going to add to the swap we've already done by the 328,000 and change. The project will continue, general fund backed, but if by chance the owners of said property don't want to sell, the money will end up in the county's general fund versus being returned. So that's the main reason we called you together, was that project. The other things we could have figured out accounting wise. You will see there was 326,000 remaining. They had spent a little over $2,000 on that Public Works project. So if you go over to page 5, you'll see an F, Roman numerals 1 and 2, a $206.01 shift That was the indirect taken on the part of the project already completed. We're moving the entire project over to general fund, not just the 326. So we also moved over that other 260. Get my math backwards here. So we had to address the indirects already taken. If anybody followed that, I have some candy in my office I can give you. But Heather, Tessa, and I spent a lot of time going over this. We're confident in the numbers. We're confident that this is the thing to do. Bottom line, no projects change. We're adding one public work project to the shift. Just in case the landlord, we think the landlord will probably sell, but it is a sewer project that goes along the side of their property. There's no reason to think they'd be against it. But private property rights are private property rights. If they don't want to sell, they don't have to.
Any questions for Jeff or Heather? Commissioner French?
So this is a question for Matt. So is the motion that we are amending Resolution 2024-0756-0765, or is the new resolution 0765 that amends a previous resolution? I'm looking at the language that I have on the special meeting notice.
Well, 0765 amended 0755.
Okay, so the 0765, we're not amending that resolution. That resolution is the amendment of the previous resolution.
Correct.
I just want to make sure I get the language right.
So 0755 was the original final.
Okay,
It was amended last week by 0765 and being a second amendment right now. So the
so,
underlying motion would be the 0755 as amended by 0765.
Yes.
so we're
Does that answer
amending,
we're amending an amendment.
we're amending an amendment to the previous, okay. So the matter of amending. So we are amending resolution 0765.
Correct.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure I
There's
get
an
it right.
amendment to 0755.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
and yeah, any other questions? If not, I'd be open to a motion.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, I would move that we adopt resolution 2024-0765 as an amendment, which makes final adjustments to the American Rescue Plan funding obligations and de-obligations to specific expenditure categories as required by the final rules of the American Rescue Plan as presented this morning.
I will second that.
All right, a motion and a second. Any final questions? And just to confirm, because this is a special meeting, also no hearing on this?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, that brings us to our third agenda item here in the special meeting. This is in the matter of executing a contract between the Spokane County Detention Services and the Spokane Police Department for detention service use of the Spokane Police Department range. Who do we have in the conference room who's going to present on this today?
I believe someone from Detention Services was coming, if not Mr. Before. Oh, here they are.
Lieutenant Wood.
We're prepared either way. You guys are up.
All right, take it away.
Thank you, commissioners. So this is a range use agreement. We're asking for approval on this. It's a year contract from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st of 2025. The cost is $17,250 for unlimited use when there's availability of the range at the Spokane Police Department's waterwork facility. And so what this does is, we have new hire training that we run 3 to 4 times per year. These are 2-week blocks, 80 hours during that time frame. We have in-service training that we run 1 to 2 times per year. That takes about 3 weeks to get all our staff through their in-service firearms training. Then we have miscellaneous training for people returning from injuries or military leave or returning to duty for various reasons. Our CRT team also uses the range, and this is about 3 to 4 times per year, just for their advanced training that they do. And so that is, we have about 189 staff members that are pistol qualified, and then about 50 staff members that are rifle qualified within our agency. Go ahead and open it up. Any questions?
Yeah. Any question, Commissioner French?
Yeah, so we just spent $40+ million on a new range out on the West Plains. Why are we spending more money for this when we can't you just use that range?
So what we have there, I know that the sheriff's office and the Air Force have priority on that range. And so that does limit our access at that range to, I think it's the Air Force has it Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. So like our in-house academy, that would extend our training on that an extra week. Because we'd only get 9 days of training instead of the 10 days of training on that new hire academy. And so it is limited for us to use that facility. And this one's a larger facility, and so it allows us to train out at that police academy and stay within our timelines. And so we go from firearms for 2 weeks, and then we go into, say, defensive tactics. So now we're going to have to adjust our training cycles because of the constraints on that firing range out there with the sheriff's office and the Air Force Academy.
So it's 17,000, how much a month?
It's I'd have to break that down, but it's $17,250 for the year.
For the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 1,500 a month.
What's that?
About 1,500 a month. Yeah. All else.
Commissioner Cuny, I saw you had your hand up for a moment.
I did a similar question to Commissioner French. You know, it was just making sure that since we have the new range, that we're all Spokane County, we want to make sure we're all using it to our best ability. So I guess I'm okay, you know, maybe this year and maybe we try to figure out how we work together to make it work better in the future, if we can make that happen.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
This is a 1-year contract then?
That's correct. From January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Well, I guess as a compromise, I would agree with Commissioner Cooney, you know, give you 1 year to figure it out. But we didn't spend $40 million to maintain status quo, you know, adjust your schedule. We made an investment in a top-notch firing range, use it. So that's my initial reaction, but I agree to go along with Commissioner Cooney for 1 year to allow you guys to adjust your schedule.
Okay. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on item number 3. This is to approve the, one moment. This is in the matter of executing a contract between Spokane County Detention Services and Spokane Police Department for detention services use of Spokane Police Department range. And then as stated, to hopefully look towards moving to the sheriff's firing range the following year. Did I state that correctly, Commissioner Cuny, for your motion?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any final comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, that does it for everything on the printed special meeting agenda. I will hand it over to Matt. Is there anything else for us today? Are we able to do miscellaneous in a special meeting, Matt?
I don't think we have any miscellaneous items today, so I think we
Okay.
can close her out.
Okay. All right. Well, then everybody have a very Merry Christmas and enjoy Christmas Eve off. So see you all later. We are adjourned.